Okay, we are all here participating in the concept of desire. I'm here to talk about how desire relates to something that is very close to my heart, the art of dance. Now, contrary to what my fiance's sister may believe, dance and desire incorporates a much larger world than the obvious notion of removing articles of clothing and spinning around a shiny pole. I first became involved with dance at an early age. I was lucky enough to have both my parents be supportive of anything that struck my curiosity. They knew that dance was going to play a major role in my life. I grew up in Bellingham, Washington, and as a small child, I was raised in Mesa, Arizona. Now, my parents, being hippies, probably found it pretty amusing to enroll me in classical East Indian dance. Mind you, I was 3 years old. Looking back, I can now say with certainty that dance and desire was an experience that I had early on. Not so much the desire to perform well or to impress my parents or maybe receive a round of applause at the end of performing. No, it was more the desire to not have my East Indian teacher throw a wooden stick at my feet when I missed a beat, which happened quite often. As I've matured into a choreographer, I have continually tried to find new methods of how to incorporate the concept of desire and ideas onto the stage. This has proven to be a constant experiment in the creative process for myself and for my dancers and the different styles that they specialize in. Desire is a lasting and ever-changing role that comes into play in my choreography and what is put onto the stage. It is a necessary tool in the creative process of my work. There are many elements to desire, with conflicting elements of vulnerability and empowerment. These can be interesting for the audience, but at the same time can be strictly mechanical for the performer. There are many obstacles and hindrances in the creative process. Some are painstaking, and some can allow for growth and feed an insatiable appetite for the act of moving and the study of it. This can prove to be mutually beneficial for the performers, for the choreographer, and for the audiences alike. For the audience's reaction and how they take the information that you're putting onto the stage in front of them can change or evolve the creative choices that I make in future works. The element of desire is something that is necessary for reaching a broad demographic of audiences. It also helps provide satisfying the need of their expectations, and which in turn satisfies my intention as a choreographer. Desire is an urge that anyone can relate to in some way or another. Someone in the audience might wish that the piece would go on longer. They might wish that there was more of a climax to the end of a dance. Now, say it's a burlesque routine, someone might even wish that I take my costume off a little faster. I have to admit, as a choreographer, it's pretty fun to sometimes leave the audience wanting more. My desires as a creator are to leave a lasting impression and communicate an idea. One ultimate goal is to create and evoke such a strong emotion or thought that it creates a ripple effect of creativity and passion. After all, inspiration can be found in anything and it can evolve into anything. You can find inspiration in almost anything, say a movie, nature, even mistakes. I think that the world has become so fast-paced that they need to stop and pay attention to the creative process or it can get lost. And those of us who choose to stop and acknowledge and soak in the creative process will lead a richer, more fuller life. For me personally, a tool that I use is the human body. There's an instant connection when you watch a human body. One, we all have one, and there's no two that are exactly alike. The facility of each individual is completely unique. So I'd like to start by giving you an example of going back to what we were talking about, vulnerability and empowerment. Now, this is something that is constantly a tool used to engage and evoke audiences. This can be especially found in burlesque and cabaret. Now, both these styles lend themselves to be easily seen as far as desire goes. It can be portrayed through a comedic moment, through, say, flirtation, or sometimes even sadness. I'm going to give you an example. Say I'm doing a routine where I'm removing an article of clothing, a bra, for instance. I might start by doing a little tease, dropping down, a little strap, turn around. I might struggle with the clasp, but all the time trying to look back and be graceful. I might turn around, subtly do a double take, make sure my pasties haven't fallen off in the process. It happens. And all the while, you're trying to maintain sticking with your music cues and maintaining your stage presence. Another example in a less classical structure, say I'm putting on an article of clothing. There's a duet that I do where at the beginning of it, a male dancer removes an overcoat. Dancing ensues. 4 minutes later, it's the end of the piece. I walk back. I pick up the coat, and I slowly put it on. Paying attention to every inch that the fabric crosses my body. In that moment, I feel desirable. I challenge you all today to become more thorough investigators, to take your time and to look around and see desire in places that you might not expect. Thank you.